My upstairs neighbor kept partying at 3 a.m., so I joined every time and ruined it for him. What's the dumbest fix that actually worked? Mine still makes me cringe. My upstairs neighbor, Marcus, threw loud parties most nights. Music shaking my ceiling at 1 a.m., people stomping, bottles clinking, random screaming. I had to wake up at 6 for my accounting job, and after a week, I was running on 2 hours of sleep and caffeine. I tried the normal stuff first. I went up early and knocked, super polite. "Hey, could you keep it down after 10?" He smiled, said, "Sure," and the next night it was louder. I slid a note under his door, then another. I called our landlord, Mr. Peterson. He gave me the "I'll handle it" line and did nothing. I called the cops twice. Both times the officers showed up, Marcus turned it down, everyone got quiet for maybe 20 minutes, and the second the patrol car left, the party came right back. After 3 weeks, I was a zombie. I nodded off at my desk. My boss asked if I was okay because I looked exhausted. Then came Thursday night. At 11 p.m., the bass started again, and something in my brain just snapped. I stood in my kitchen staring at the ceiling, and I had this thought: if I can't stop the party, I'll become part of it. So I grabbed a six-pack I'd been saving, marched upstairs, and knocked on Marcus's door. When he opened it, he looked sweaty and confused, holding a red cup, music blasting behind him. I put on the biggest smile I could force and held out the beer for him. "Dude," I said, "this party sounds amazing, and you guys always sound so happy up here. Can I join?" He stared at me, then stepped aside and let me in, because what was he going to say? His apartment was packed with strangers in their 20s, and the volume was ridiculous. I committed to the act, no turning back. I became the most enthusiastic party guest alive. Every time the song changed, I clapped and yelled, "Yes, this one!" even when I clearly didn't know it. I leaned over strangers and shouted compliments. "Great spin! Nice footwork!" I raised my cup and said, "To Marcus, best host in the building." People cheered, and Marcus gave me this uneasy laugh. Then my real problem showed up. I'm painfully awkward at parties. I did the robot dance, dead serious, stiff arms and all. I walked up to a guy near the kitchen and asked, "So what's your major? And what job do you want after?" He blinked and walked away mid-answer. I tried to start a party game. "We should play charades," I announced. Nobody moved, so I started explaining rules anyway. I asked the music guy if he took requests and suggested something calmer, waiting room music. He just stared at me. I asked people where they saw themselves in 5 years. I asked one girl if she wanted to hear about tax deductions. She grabbed her friend and vanished into the crowd. Within an hour, the room started thinning. People suddenly had an early morning. A couple pretended their phone was ringing and escaped. Marcus watched them leave, then looked at me, confused and annoyed. I finally went back downstairs around 12:30, and when I shut my door, I noticed the music upstairs was already lower. The next night was Friday, and the party started again at 10. I didn't even wait to get mad. At 10:15, I grabbed a big bag of chips, put on my forced happy face, and knocked on his door. Marcus opened it, and his smile dropped fast. I held up the chips. "Hey Marcus, I'm ready for round 2, and I brought snacks." He looked past me into the hallway, hoping I'd disappear. But he couldn't say no without admitting the parties were a problem, so he let me in again. I went even harder. I complimented everything. "Love the lighting. Great vibe." I asked people their full names and how to spell them. I said, "We should all add each other on LinkedIn," even though it wasn't. I pushed a simple card game and made everyone hear the rules. I asked a group if they wanted to talk about their goals for the year. The energy in the room started dying in real time. People stopped dancing. They started sitting down. Someone turned the music down and pretended it was an accident. By the time I left, there were way fewer people than when I arrived. Saturday night came, and I knew what I had to do. I showed up with a board game under my arm. When Marcus opened the door and saw it, his face actually changed. It wasn't annoyed anymore. It was fear. I smiled big. "Game night," I said. Marcus pulled me into the hallway. He lowered his voice and said, "Hey man, could we keep it low-key tonight? Just a few people, quiet music?" He looked down at the board game, then back at me. "Please." I held the box up and said, still cheerful, "Sure, we can do something calm." Marcus exhaled, turned around, and within minutes, the music dropped to a soft volume. A couple people mumbled excuses and left. By midnight, it was quiet enough that I could hear my own fridge humming again. Now his friends are calling me the weird neighbor. Was I wrong for it?